So now we're going to be working toward this more complete structure. And you should already have this basic part of the greater structure completed, which can be used in and of itself for working on the ground. But we want a more complete and useful workmate, so we're going to need this bottom portion of 2 apparatus supports. Now it's very important to have these 2 base supports under your bottom buckets, lifting up your general structure, because this raises the height of your work surface to the architectural standards of at least 29 inches tall, and will make it approximately 32 inches high, but you can make it even taller if desired, which will be described later in this video series. In addition, these base supports provide more stability to your overall structure by giving a wider brace stance. Remember, the pole already provides longitudinal bracing, as pointed out in the top half of this illustration. So if you just had the bottom buckets as your base shown in the bottom half of this illustration, your overall structure would be a little more wobbly, as opposed to the wider end supports as shown in the top half of this illustration. So we'll start making these 2 base apparatus attachments. What you'll need is 2 of these 20-inch tool caddies by Husky. Now the Husky brand, which is currently essentially owned by the Home Depot Corporation, manufactures Workmates and portable workbenches for sale. So if any executives or marketing directors thereof see this, they might say, wait a minute, we sell Workmates and portable workbenches, and they're showing people how to make their own using one of our separate products? Let's just discontinue this product, or make it different so it won't fit this project, or let's jack up the price of this tool caddy. Well, if the decision makers of Husky or Home Depot make that decision, first of all, I advise them not to, because there's plenty of other alternatives that we can use to make this project. They may as well use this project to their advantage to sell more tool caddies than fight against it and get no more sales on anything. So to make these base supports, the first thing we need to do is cut off the handles at the internal neck top as shown on the bottom caddy in this illustration. And if you flip the tool caddy upside down on top of a bucket, it will look like this. But a little bit of a problem is that the neck top connecting to the handle is recessed down a little ways into the compartment, right about at this red line as seen here. So to cut it off, I used a roto-zip saw with a cutoff attachment, but you can use a coping saw with just a little more work. Next, you're going to cut out 2 pieces of plywood measured just square enough to support the bottom base of your bottom buckets. And those 2 pieces of plywood will be supported by the neck part inside the compartment of the caddies. And I recommend spray painting the 2 pieces of plywood. Why? Because it protects against wood rot if you get the plywood wet or damp. Next, drill 3 pilot holes on each longitudinal side of each caddy and screw in by hand 3 screws through the wall of the caddy and into the plywood on each side of the caddy. Now drill 4 pilot holes through the bottom base of the bucket and through the plywood. And you can use these types of bolts, washers, and nuts to secure the bucket to the plywood. And now we're going to build the kickstand, as circled here, that swings open as seen here. So your Workmate will open up to the bottom storage compartments, and you'll have easy access to additional tools or supplies. You can either make one or both kickstands. I've found that easy access to just one of the buckets is all that I need, but you may want both storage compartments to open up with easy access. It's all up to your needs and how you see fit. So to make the kickstand, you'll need a PVC pipe and a 3-way PVC T connector. The size of these PVC supplies seen here is 3/4 inch, but it doesn't really matter too much on the size you use. Then you can follow what's going on here. Next, you'll need 2 each stainless steel hose clamps for each kickstand, and you can open them up and flatten them out. Then you'll cut 4 slits in the bottom of the tool caddy compartment. Slip those hose clamps through those slits and around both sides of the T connector, and tighten just enough to push and pull the PVC with ease, but yet tight enough that it will stay in place. And the PVC T connector will be wedged up against one side of the tool caddy neck part as seen here. And you can cut off excess PVC pipe easily with a hacksaw. Thank you for watching, and be sure to look out for part 3 of making the ultimate 5-gallon bucket Workmate workbench. Coming soon.